Please help me welcome the next speaker to the stage, Ingrid Lestillo, who's in charge of making sure that Unity developers can make money with their games. Ingrid?
Thank you, Lucas. Hi, everyone. So how many of you want to hire more people to build your next big game idea? No? How many people want more marketing budget to acquire new players? Any of you want to be the next Colossal Order, Alchemy, or Next Games? So many of you have these ambitions, and you all want your games to succeed. As you know, one of our principles at Unity is to enable developer success. And what that means for the developer revenue team is figuring out how to make you more money so that you can achieve all the goals that you just said you wanted. So let's take a look at a few of the developers who've done just that. Let's start with Next Games. So Sarah Bergstrom is one of Next Games' first employees and their CMO. And she told me this great story on how they started with just 4 people 3 short years ago. And initially funded by VCs, they created 2 free-to-play mobile games, Walking Dead, No Man's Land, and Compass Point West. Now, as we all know, VC funds don't last forever. So they chose to incorporate in-app purchase and shortly thereafter advertising. And they smartly incorporated advertising in their game, Compass Point West, as wagons and made it a beloved part of the game. So much so that when the wagons went away, the players asked for their goods. They wanted more ads. That's so crazy. And of course, that drove both engagement and revenue at the same time. And their strategy paid off. So in just 3 short years, they grew their studio from just 4 people to 70 people. And they became profitable last year and grew their revenue by 3 times. And hot off the press, they announced their intentions to IPO just yesterday. Another great but different story is Colossal Order, led by CEO Marina Halikainen. So against all advice, Marina decided to launch a PC-based simulation game, City Skylines, when everyone else were developing mobile games. So with odds against them and a few $100,000 of loans, Marina knew they had to make money right away and chose the premium model. She partnered with Paradox to help with marketing and distribution. And their bets paid off. So since 2009, they've grown their studio from just 5 people to 18 people. And they grew their revenue by 15 times in 2 years. And all of this while remaining independent and owning 90% of the company. Amazing. So what's the secret ingredient? What do both of these stories have in common? Well, they all intuitively understood that to keep on creating, they needed to get the player lifetime value to exceed the cost of acquiring these players. Simply put, they needed to earn more than they spent. So as we saw, there are 2 ways to get to the right player lifetime value. One is a free-to-play model using ads and in-app purchase, just like Next Games. And second is a premium model, just like Colossal Games. And Unity makes it super easy for you to succeed regardless of what business model you adopt. With that, I'm really excited to introduce you to Alex and Devin, founders of Alchemy Labs. Now, Alchemy is the maker of many hit games, including one of the most successful VR game, Job Simulator. And Alex and Devin will share with us the story on why they decided to launch all their games across 18 different platforms and adopt both of these business models at the same time. Now, welcome, Alex and Devin.
Hey everybody, my name is Alex. I'm the founder and CEO and janitor of Alchemy Labs.
And I'm Devin, CTO of Alchemy Labs.
So we've been using Unity since 2010. We've been making games in mobile, for mobile and desktop, and in fact, Unity was a Mac-only game engine when we first started using it. We built a number of original games together that generated just enough revenue to kind of continue moving on to the next game. And stay this small, kind of tight-knit team. This is Smuggle Truck, or Snuggle Truck, depending on where you heard of it, one of our first titles. You could see a truck bounding over a moose with some physics-based gameplay. Classic.
Our next game, Jack Lumber, was a game about a supernatural lumberjack who was out for revenge because a tree killed his granny. So you chop logs in the sky, normal lumberjacking stuff.
We also helped build which is 25 A's in a row and 5 exclamation points, if you want to write that down. It's a crazy over-the-top skydiving and base jumping game. You basically float through a city in the future trying to skirt by buildings and parachute without getting killed on the way down.
And then there's Discourse, our silly choose-your-own-adventure style book game made video game form about survival. You play a barista who's trying not to get things like getting killed by sharks and eaten or cannibalized by your fellow survivors.
So here we were, from our tiny team back in 2011 to 2015, we're about 4 people, scaling up and down based on contractors and needs of the project, and we were all remote. In fact, we did everything over Skype together. Here's us celebrating the launch of Discourse together. We would actually sometimes, we would leave Skype open for hours on end just to simulate working together in the same room. And we shipped our games on almost every single platform that Unity ever supported, including some crazy platforms that don't exist anymore and some that were in early alpha. This was our way of mitigating risk as a small indie studio, because we could bring in revenue from one platform and another, but combined we could weather the storm as an indie and stay sustainable.
And then the Oculus Rift Kickstarter happened. When we received our first DK1, we knew that VR was going to be a thing this time. So we did the thing that we normally don't do. We dropped everything, and we instantly got to work on bringing to VR in a form of Oculus. We ended up...
Yep.
We ended up learning a ton during that development process. This was back before any best practices guides even existed, and we ended up launching on Steam as the first VR game on Steam that wasn't made by Valve.
So at this point, we were kind of traveling around talking about VR, eating, sleeping, drinking VR, and just thinking about it every day. And we got this amazing opportunity to go try Valve's Room demo. And honestly, this was like a religious epiphany when it came to VR and tracking. That when you have high-end sub-millimeter tracking and you can move about a space, it changes everything. And we knew from Alchemy's standpoint, this was going to be our future moving forward. And so we got approached by Valve to build basically a showpiece for the then unannounced HTC Vive. And we said, of course, we're going to do that. And since we were all remote, we actually ended up flying up to Devin's house in the Arctic tundra of Manitoba, Canada. And we set out to build a GDC demo for the Vive. And we had only 1 week with this one piece of new hardware to try to build this together.
So once we got the hardware, we started experimenting what was possible. And one of the first things we did was we made this little table in VR, and we went and put a few cubes on it, and all of a sudden, instantly it hit. It was physics with your hands was truly magical. So this is how Job Simulator was born. We realized that we had stumbled on something that was incredible, this childlike sense of wonder and humor that had never been possible before you had VR with hands.
So we ended up shipping Job Simulator on launch day on all the VR platforms that had motion controllers. And so we were a launch title on the HTC Vive, PlayStation VR, as well as Oculus Touch, all on day 1. And we ended 2016 with over $3 million in revenue from Job Simulator, and that was thanks to our multi-platform strategy across those top headsets. We even garnered some amazing awards along the way, really humbling, to get recognized for our interaction design and for our approach to VR. including a Sundance Film Festival Award and Best VR Game at the Unity Awards. So thank you guys. And we even ended up being the #1 top-selling VR game on the PlayStation Store in 2016, which was completely insane. And it really showed how people wanted to use their hands to interact with virtual worlds. And so that was vindication for us with being so interested in manipulating things with your hands.
So Unity was and continues to be an incredible part of our success. We've, right from day one, prototyping really quickly has been incredibly important, and multi-platform has been a focus for us. So rather than spend time working on an engine, we want to focus on actually building the games and doing that game design. So throughout all of this, we grew the team up to 25 people. So here's a picture of our house, office, and a Silicon Valley style. And then more recently, actually getting a real office.
Yep. So I think it's honestly true. We would have gone out of business in the early days if it wasn't for Unity. You know, it's been awesome having what's essentially a remote engine team building features, doing ports for us, while we can focus on just making great games. So from working remotely out of our home 6 years ago to today, it's been 6 years building on Unity, and so here's to 6 more. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Alex and Devin. What an inspiring story. So now we understand that figuring out how to price your in-app purchase and integrating yet another advertising SDK is not why you all get up in the morning. We know that mobile games have to integrate multiple SDKs, sometimes up to 10. That is just super painful. We know that to implement in-app purchase, you have to manage multiple app stores. And sometimes things change, breaking your app, making you resubmit your app again, costing you revenue. And we want you to be spending more time using the features that Lucas just presented, like Metal or the progressive light mapper, because we know that this is just not the most fun part of your job. But you know what? It is fun for us. Solving these really hard problems is our team's passion. We wake up every morning trying to figure out how to earn you more money today than yesterday. So let me give you a quick example of how we try to do this. Our goal with Unity IAP is to give you hours of your life back by integrating with 10 different app stores and tracking those changes so you don't have to. So your app doesn't break and you don't lose out on revenue. So not only that, you can implement this without an SDK and without writing any code. It's codeless IAP. So not only we want to take the hassles out of making money for you, we want to make you a global success. Now, China is the #1 games market in the world. And we want all of you to succeed in China. Now, that can be quite challenging because there are so many different app stores, government regulations to navigate. But together with Xiaomi, we want to take the complexity out of all of that. Xiaomi is the largest handset manufacturers and app stores in China. And we announced our partnership with Xiaomi last year at Unite LA. And now, please welcome Mr. Jerry Shang, VP of Xiaomi, to tell us more about the progress that we've made so far. Jerry.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I worked for Xiaomi, the leading mobile phone company in China. Let's show a video about Xiaomi.
In China, Xiaomi is the earliest and the largest mobile internet company specialized in smart devices. Born for you, born for me is Xiaomi's product concept. Mi phones boast the largest number of young Android users, like Xiaomi series, Redmi series, and the latest Mix series. These are all world's top 10 best-selling phones. Until now, we have sold out 200 million Mi phones. Every day, there are about 100 million users get access to mobile internet by Mi phones. In China, with the most active users, MIUI is the most popular operating system based Android. It provides almost all services and tools. The users always use Xiaomi apps and game downloading services. We've created a MIUI Developer Portal, our own developer platform. There are tens of thousands of games on this platform. 10% are IAP games. In 2016, the number of game downloads reached 2.2 billion, and the number of app downloads reached 6 billion. 300 million revenue sharing goes to the developers.
In 2016, the game developers made $300 million with Xiaomi. But most of these developers come from China. Why? Because of some problems, the game outside China cannot be downloaded by the Chinese users. What's the problems? The first, there's no App Store and localization support. And the Unity did not support the Chinese platform. And getting a publishing license is difficult. Of course, some large studio can easily find a Chinese publisher to deal with all of these problems. In fact, less than 50 foreign games published in Chinese Android market each year. Yeah, less than 50 games. So, a simple solution is needed. As you know, there is no Google Play in China. Developers have to find another platform to provide with download, user accounts, payment, and settlement service. That's where Xiaomi comes in. Today, I'm happy to announce there will be full support for the Xiaomi platform in Unity. Okay, then developers can submit a game for the Chinese market in only 4 steps. And the game will be published in China. Need to get the publishing license from the government. Xiaomi can help the developers with necessary legal and fees. To make this simple, Unity and Xiaomi made a developer portal with service. We hope open China to every Unity creator. My pleasure to share this news to you. For more information, please visit the website behind me. Xiaomi welcomes you to China. Thank you.
All right. So Unity, together with Xiaomi, we're ready to help bring your apps to China. We're going to help open up the Chinese Android market, help you with localization, and take the mystery out of getting a publisher license from the government. Now, not only do we want to make you a global sensation, but we want to make it really easy for you to acquire new players. And what better way to do that than to give you access to Facebook's 1.8 billion users through their new PC gaming platform, Game Room. So please welcome Leo Olebe, Director of Global Gaming Partnerships at Facebook, to tell you how you can take advantage of the social power of Facebook. Leo.
Awesome. Thanks, Ingrid. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here with Unity at GDC. Thank you for having us. Back in November, we announced that Facebook support in Unity was available as a beta feature for developers. Today, I'm pleased to tell you that the upcoming release of Unity 5.6 will include the commercial release of the new Facebook Build Target. We're excited to be partnering with the #1 game development platform, Unity, to provide the ability for developers to easily bring their games to Facebook. As you know, Facebook has a global audience of over 1.8 billion people. That's a lot of people and a lot of gamers. In addition, we're excited to announce that for developers using Unity IAP to implement payments, Facebook support will also be included alongside the release of Unity 5.6. With the introduction of the new Facebook support functionalities in Unity, we want to, 1, minimize the friction points and cost for developers to rapidly deploy to Facebook. 2, provide easy integration into games of Facebook services like login, payments, notifications, sharing, etc. 3, open up new distribution channels for developers to grow and monetize, especially leveraging the reach of Facebook. Most importantly, you'll be able to bring your games to the new destination we just rolled out late last year, Game Room. Let's take a look. There's John Ema over there. So today, let's see, where do we go? We're going back. Today, we're pleased to announce that premium content is going to be coming soon in Game Room. It's actually available now. Whether your game costs $1, $5, $10, $20, $50, you name it, you can now put your premium games on the platform. So there's John Ema over there. He's going to be playing Sky Hill. We're excited to be able to not only offer new content for the people who play, but also even more opportunities for developers to get their games in front of a global audience. Whether you want to play free games, premium games, AAA games, indie games, if you want to watch games, share games, or even just talk about games, you name it, we want Game Room to be a part of your community. So if you don't yet have Game Room, all you got to do is go over to gameroom.com and download it today. And developers, if you want to put your game onto Game Room, just go to fb.me/Game Room. Thank you.
We're so proud to partner with Facebook and cannot wait to see what comes next. So, as you can see, it takes a village to make you successful. And with that, I hope you have a better understanding of how Unity, together with our partners, including Facebook and Xiaomi, can help fuel your ambition and keep on continuing to do what you love best, which is making amazing games.